Hello, welcome to Biology for You. In this video, we are going to discuss multiplex PCR. In this series of videos, we have been discussing different variants of the PCR, and here in this video, we are going to have the basic idea over this multiplex PCR, what exactly it is, and how it works, followed by what are the advantages and what are the different applications for this multiplex PCR. So what is multiplex PCR? So as name indicates, it's a type of PCR. That means the one type of extension to this PCR technique, that is polymerase chain reaction. So generally these polymerase chain reactions for the artificial amplification of the DNA in the laboratory. So that means if you want to amplify a stretch of DNA from biological sample, you need to go for this PCR reactions. So basically in order to identify some sequences, in order to quantify some sequences, DNA sequences, or in order to isolate some specific portion of the DNA from rest of the genome. So generally these PCR reactions will be carried. So basically what is multiplex PCR? So these PCR reactions are generally expensive. That means the component present in the chemicals present in the PCR mixtures are expensive, and these experiments are time taking. So what we do, if you pull up number of reactions into a single reaction, that means in a single reaction mixture, if we are going for multiple reactions, multiple such PCR reactions, that is nothing but the multiplex PCR. So here multiplex PCR is the PCR that generally carried in a single reaction tube or a single with a single reaction mixture. We are going to have many number of such PCR reactions. So maybe we can say there are two cases again. So if we have one single template, so with a single template DNA, target DNA is one, but with one type of target DNA we want to perform a PCR reaction with different sets of primers. So there are many number of primers. So all types of primers can be added into a single reaction mixture and PCR reaction can be performed. And also the other case is multiple targets and multiple primers. So basically if we are using different target sequences, different sets of reactions with different specific primers to them, so we can also mix up all all PCR reactions for multiple targets, and we can simply carry it in a single reaction tube. So that is what the beauty of this multiplex PCR. We are just pulling up many PCR reactions into a single reaction mixture. So basically the question is, so here how do we perform that? The things, the PCR steps are the same, the reaction steps, that means the annealing, denaturation, followed by annealing, followed by the extension. All three steps are the common. So but the only variation is the number of primer sets that we are going to use, number of the target sequences that we will be adding into the reaction mixture. So amplification will be carried in the same way. Then the sample is ejected, and then we can separate the reactions again, maybe based on the gel electrophoresis. We can separate separately identify different targets whether the amplification is carried or not. So followed by thereby we can find the success for the different PCR reactions. So that is what the detection process. So followed by how do we detect different sequences, different targets, whether they are amplified or not, if they are in a single mixture. So we are going to use different probes. So the markers are different. So for each and individual reactions we are going to use a probe. So probe is the sequence which is specifically bind to the specifically bind and identify the target DNA whether the amplification is carried or not. We are going to detect over here. So let us take an example so that we can understand this PCR, multiplex PCR easily. So let us consider we are going to analyze the some pathogens. So one person is affected with multiple viruses. So there are multiple viruses may be infecting the single person. So take a sample, DNA sample from the person and use all primers for all possible or suspected viruses and add into single reaction mixture target and then go for PCR. Then the detection process key. So whether if we are using here 4 types of primers. During the detection process we need to go for 4 types of probes. Maybe these probes may be fused with some fluorescent marker so that detection process is real time and easy for us. So generally these probes are combined with some fluorescent marker so that we can observe them on the gel electrophotogram. So after this PCR reaction is carried, so load the gel and bands will be formed. So for 4 probes, if we are getting 4 bands and all are detected, so all types of fluorescent markers are detected during the gel electrogram, then he is positive for all types of viruses that we are suspected. So otherwise, instead of using probes, if the target DNA is varied in its length, that means based on the band length also we can detect. So if the target sequences are having different band lengths, so that can also be resolved using this gel electrophotogram by using a molecular weight marker. So these molecular weight markers are useful to determine the molecular weights of these bands so that the we are going to detect whether all targets are amplified or not. So this is how the multiplex PCR will be carried. So here what are the things we need to remind while we are going for this multiplex PCR. So while we are going for this such kind of multiplex PCR, first we need to think about the primers. Primer designing is key for the multiplex PCR because we are using many number of primers instead of one type of primer. So here these primers need to be very much specific to the targets. So generally target and primer specificity is the key, otherwise there is a chance of this primer will go to the other non-targeted sequence. So false positive result may come. So that interprets the or collapse the complete data. So we should have very specific target and primer sequences. So primers need to be very specific, and the length of the target. So we need to select the length of the target as well. So basically, if the length of target is very much varying, that means for a single primer we need to design primers according to such demands. So these primers will go to the sequences which are not very much difference in their lengths. Otherwise, for amplifying, let us take an example. Target 1. So this target 1 is very lengthy, some 10,000 base pairs around, but the target 2, that means the template DNA is, the other template DNA is very short. Then the time taken for the replication or amplification will be different. So there is a chance of again the false negative or false positive reaction, and unsuccessful PCR reaction may be resulted. So primers also need to be designed based on the lengths of the target DNAs. And primer dimers. So if two primers, maybe from the same set of primers, or maybe one forward primer is in complementary with the other type of reverse primer from other set, then what will happen? The primer dimers may be formed, and that collapse the reaction. And what else? So length of the target, specificity, and the next thing is the annealing temperature. So here we are using multiple reactions. That means there are many reactions. So we are using different types of primers as well. The sequence of primer one sequence is different from the other. So obviously the melting temperatures of the primers are obviously different, and the annealing temperatures are also be different. So what will happen if the annealing temperatures are very much varied? So that may result in the unsuccessful PCR reaction, because we will set certain conditions, we will fix certain conditions, certain annealing temperatures. So the annealing temperatures of the primers should not be varied very much. So some limit should be there, which are having more or less similar melting temperatures. That kind of primers need to be designed. So these are the facts which we need to keep in our mind when we are going for the multiplex PCR while we are designing these primers. So primers need to be very much specific, and they need to be designed according to their target lengths. These target lengths should be varied so that they can be resolved during the detection process, but they shouldn't be varied very much so that the reaction is totally unsuccessful, and the primer dimers should not be formed. That means two different sets of primers shouldn't have these complementary sequences, and the annealing temperatures of the primers must be kind of more or less within a range. So these are the facts we need to remember in our mind. So what are the advantages of this multiplex PCR? So why we need to go for such a multiplex PCR? Why we need to go for a tedious process of this primer designing and all, and why we need to pull up the reactions? The only benefit is to reduce the time because these PCR reactions are lengthy, and manual effort, and also the cost of each reaction is reduced to its, if we are taking four reactions, four reaction mixtures has to be prepared. If we are pulling up in within a single reaction tube, the all reactions are carried, then the cost is obviously reduced. So these are the main advantages with the multiplex PCR. So the next thing is the what are the applications. So while we were discussing this procedure of multiplex PCR, we were talking about the different viruses. That means a person affected with multiple number of viruses. So that is the kind of pathogen identification. That's obviously the one of the application of this multiplex PCR. So pathogen identification. So here not single pathogen, that is multiple pathogens present in a sample can be simultaneously identified. So if the PCR is successful for one type of pathogen, consider it as a presence of that pathogen. If PCR is that means the amplification is not happened for the other kind of pathogen, and that indicates the absence of that particular pathogen. So that is how the multiple pathogens are simultaneously identified. Maybe the detection process maybe depends upon the probes we are going to use, or maybe the length of the reactions. And the next application is SNP genotyping. So this high throughput SNP genotyping can be carried using this multiplex PCR. And also deletion analysis. So different samples or different sequences, the deletions can be identified. So that kind of deletion analysis can be carried. Likewise, mutations can also be detected. And it is also useful in the forensic sciences. So for identifying the victims, identifying the accused persons, so we can take multiple samples and we can identify who is actually responsible for the crime using this multiplex PCR. So these are the different applications, some of the applications of this multiplex PCR. So thereby maybe we got to understand what exactly that means, what is the basic idea regarding this multiplex PCR, how do we carry this experiment, what are the advantages and disadvantages with this multiplex PCR, followed by what are the different applications of multiplex PCR. So hope you understand this video. If you like and share, and if you don't subscribe to my channel and press bell icon for the further notifications. Thank you.